What's going on, guys? My name is Sock Monkey Mike. Welcome to a brand new. This is new. This is a new format. AEW Double or Nothing predictions roundtable edition, and I got some very special guests here. So, without further ado, let me introduce them to you. First, we got my friend Priscilla.
Hello.
And then we also have the one, the almighty Bryce Ryan.
Oh, I'm not Bobby Lashley. Oh, okay. No, I'm just kidding. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you, Mike, for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm excited for this. So let's get it. Let's get it.
And before we get everything started, I just wanted to let everybody know that these are going to be pre-recorded prior to next week, which is going to be Double or Nothing, which happens on May 23rd, excuse me. And it is what it is. So if we miss some things, I'll put it in the description. So have you guys watched AEW Dynamite recently, or is it kind of like on and off thing, or are you guys committed to just NXT, WWE?
Yeah. I've been trying to watch a little bit of both. I did watch a little bit of Dynamite this past week. I did like where Cody drove his Ford truck into the arena. Kind of, sort of. But, yeah, I've just been trying to keep up with it a little bit more. But, yeah, I've been kind of watching the highlights a bit. So far, I got to say they've both been really good shows. Despite all this going on.
And for me, I see some of the highlights on Instagram, like later on Wednesday. Like, I watch NXT on Wednesday, so when I do have the time after, I go on Instagram and I see the highlights, and that's what really gives me kept up to date with AEW.
Yeah, and again, before we get everything started, can you tell the people what you guys do? Like Priscilla, I know you're doing the Instagram thing, and then Ryan, you're doing the YouTube thing.
So I'm on Instagram. It's the same as my Zoom name right here is Life Priscilla. I post a lot of content, whether it be me and merch or Undisputed Era or like anything that has to do with wrestling. It's gonna be on there. I'm also an editor. I edit videos. I make edit videos about wrestlers, about basically anything. So if you guys ever need a video, you look me up, follow me, and just send me a message, and I'll happily get back to you with a video.
And she's a huge Bobby Fish fan.
Oh. And I'm a huge Bobby Fish fan. That is correct.
We still don't know how many fish Bobby Fish could fry.
Oh my goodness, Bobby does not, according to Bobby, he does not eat fried fish. So he probably doesn't eat fried fish. Maybe grilled, but not fried.
All right, Ryan.
All right, so kind of what like Priscilla does, but I do YouTube. For those of you that don't know me or know my channel, basically I am a YouTuber. I do a lot of video game content, mostly wrestling, but I do a lot of video game wise, like WWE 2K, universe mode, that kind of stuff. I do some other games as well, some gameplays of other games, not just wrestling, but other stuff as well. Unboxings, title belts, reaction videos of, WWE moments, and really almost anything. And also, if you do want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, they will be in my videos in the description. So if you want to follow me, please do. I do love to talk about wrestling a lot. I am a lot more active on Twitter than I am on Instagram, but you'll still find me on both because I do use them both. But yeah, also if you want to subscribe to my channel, that would be really much appreciated. So yeah, I mean, just if you enjoy wrestling games or whatever, just come by the channel and yeah. Heck yeah.
that was an epic intro. And by the way, they have more followers than I do, so I'm very jealous about that.
I'm actually very surprised. Sorry, Monkey Mike, because you are the GOAT.
Yeah, like I have a decent amount of followers, but you have verified people following you. So.
But anyways, so with that said, let's just get straight into the matches. There's a total of seven? Hold on. There's a total of 8 matches on the card. I guess we're going to start with the first one that I pop up here. So we have for the tournament final for the inaugural AEW TNT Championship, we have the two finalists, which is Murderhawk Lance Archer alongside Jake the Snake Roberts, who have been debuting a new monster heel gimmick, which I think is pretty badass, if I say so myself, versus Cody with Coach Arn Anderson. And I'm really excited about this match and see how this goes. So Priscilla, who do you got, and what do you think?
These two guys are both really, really great athletes, but then you want to question yourself, do they really want to push Cody even more? Like, I get it. Like, Cody's very, very talented in the ring and what he does, and on the mic, he's great and everything. But is it a good idea for them to push Cody even more than how he's been pushed? And, my mind, I would like Cody to win, but would it be the best decision to push Cody? So I think they're going to give it to Lance Archer, solely for the fact that if they push Cody even more, there could be some fans that don't agree with it. But then again, we're not in charge of the show. They are. But it just really depends on how they really listen to their crowd and their audience around the world. So my guess is that they're probably going to give it to Lance Archer.
Okay, and then Ryan?
This is definitely, I think, one of the matches I will be looking forward to. This rivalry has been very, very good, I'd say, from the start. And especially even where Jake Roberts brought the snake back and literally put it on Cody's wife to make this rivalry like more personal and kind of get some more viewers and watching it. But I am excited because Mike Tyson will be presenting the TNT Championship, which I think is going to be very interesting. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to go down. But as far as this match goes, I would probably, it's really tough for me because I really wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Cody. But then again, in order, I think probably the best thing, in my opinion, I think the best way to go for this, because many people don't really know exactly who Lance Archer is. I mean, unless you kind of watch, like New Japan and stuff like that. Of course, I believe he was in WWE for a while. I think he was known as Vance Archer, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, if you really haven't watched New Japan, you probably don't really know a whole lot about Lance Archer. And so maybe a whole lot of people don't really know who exactly he is. So obviously, that's kind of a thing. So, and a lot of people probably know Cody more than Lance Archer. So I would probably say it would probably be best to have Cody put over Lance Archer in this match in order to establish Lance Archer as a dominant heel and to get more heat on him. I think Lance Archer really needs this win. I think he probably needs to win the title more than Cody does. So I'm going to go with Lance Archer to win the TNT title. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say we're probably going to see Mike Tyson knock somebody out, and I probably see him knocking out Lance Archer.
Okay. That's what I was going to say, too. I was going to say Tyson has to have some kind of role in this, just something other than just presenting the title. So if they can actually pull off something with Tyson, that'd be actually amazing. That would be. I do agree with that. I could kind of see something like Lance Archer wins the match, and Mike Tyson presents him the belt, and then Archer tries to start something with Tyson, and then Tyson could knock him out, just to kind of get, we'll just kind of say like a revenge for Cody and Brandy. That kind of at least gives Cody at least something, but Archer has the belt at least.
I think I agree with you guys, definitely. I think having Lance Archer have that TNT championship would actually be an amazing thing, especially since not a lot of people know Lance Archer, unless, like you mentioned, Ryan, that you're a fan of his career in New Japan, or for those who don't know, he was a part of ECW. I think he was known as like a monster heel back then, and he was dominant, but I don't think he had a good tenure there as everybody would hope. because he was young back then. He was going after people like Shelton Benjamin, and he had a good he basically did all the squash matches that Braun Strowman did in 2016. He made that look cool back in 2009. But in terms of this match, I agree with you guys when you say that Lance Archer should get the title. However, my pick is going to be Cody. And the reason why I say that is because Cody, I think, is the only Nightmare family member, or basically anybody in the Elite, if I could say so myself, or the Bullet Club, or whatever you like to call it, that doesn't have a championship. I can say other than Kenny and Hangman, who have the tag team titles, but other than that, there's nobody else in the Bullet Club that really has had a championship. So I'm going to say Cody, and the reason why I say Cody is I think that it would be best for someone well-known to have the title first, and then maybe have Lance win it afterwards. Maybe to really kind of have, like you mentioned, Ryan, to have Cody put over that relatively younger talent, and especially to see that rivalry kind of continue on, especially those awesome promos that Jake the Snake Roberts that has had over the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to say Cody. Ryan and Priscilla say Lance Archer. So,
and when you said the only person that doesn't have a championship, do you mean Bullet Club or do you mean the Elite?
So I'm going to say Elite, because they're kind of the main ones involved with AEW, because not like people like Tama Tonga and Chase Owens and all the other Bullet Club members, Jay White, are not involved in AEW. So that's what I refer to when I mean like the Bullet Club, more of like the Elite aspect.
Okay.
All right, so we have the second match here. This was a kind of a last-minute announcement recently on Dynamite, where we have MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, along with Wardlow, who I think is, to me, he reminds me more of a Nathan Jones or a Matt Morgan, of a Matt Morgan type of heel versus Jungle Boy. I think his actual name is like Jungle Boy something Curtis, but I couldn't find that on here. This was a very random match in my opinion. I don't know why they put that, but I think I understand now after a recent episode of Dynamite where Wardlow just he like slams the living crap out of Marco Stunt. So I kind of understand what they're trying to do with this. What's your pick? And then Priscilla, you're gonna go afterwards.
Okay. So this is kind of, in my opinion, you asked me. I don't really feel like this. It just doesn't feel like a pay-per-view match vibe. It's. But I am definitely kind of looking forward to it in a bit. Because I think it can be very interesting. But as far as this match, I think Jungle Boy is very talented. Of course, I did like his match with Chris Jericho back in December. It was very good, and hopefully they can kind of continue to give Jungle Boy kind of a little bit of a push, but also Jurassic Express kind of a push in the tag team division. But as far as this match goes, I would probably have to give the win to MJF because he has been on a roll this year, and I think he is the future of All Elite Wrestling. So I think they kind of need to push him, at least I'd probably say to the top. I don't think he's going to be at the top right away, but eventually he will. But they just need to keep pushing him. And I think Maxwell Jacob Friedman is going to get the win.
Okay. Priscilla?
I agree with Ryan. I feel like MJF is going to take this one. But like he said, I love that they're giving Jungle Boy a lot of these opportunities to go out there and show everyone what he can do. And he's very good. He's very talented in the ring. He's an awesome competitor for a lot of these people in the roster. So for him to have a match against MJF, who is very, very, very talented too, it should be a good match. I don't think it's going to be a quick, fast match. I think it's going to be a pretty good, decent timed match. Now, but yes, I'm gonna have to go with MJF. MJF's super good in the ring, what he does. He's very good on the mic. I really want to see what they have planned for him after this. I want to see him go up and up, because he does have championship potential. I was surprised that he didn't win the AEW championship the first time around, but I get it. It was a new company. They want to put someone that is recognizable that everyone knows up on the title spot. But I do want to see him get a title opportunity later in the future, whether it be for the AEW championship or for the TNT championship. Either one of those would be great for MJF, because we know that he can sell the part and he can do it all. So I'm gonna have to go with MJF.
Okay, both of you guys say MJF. I'm gonna agree with you guys and say I'm gonna say MJF as well, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and not for the purpose of not thinking that Jungle Boy couldn't win. But like you guys said, he's been put in situations where he has been showcased outside of the Jurassic Express, because I think a lot of people have found him just as a tag team competitor, which is true. But I think after his match with Chris Jericho and then this upcoming match with MJF, I think this is a great way to showcase him outside of the tag team bubble. And I think that to me, he reminds me a lot of a young, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this comparison. I think he reminds me of a young Tommy Dreamer. And here's the reason why I say that. Tommy Dreamer was not known for winning, but he was known for putting on some good matches, but not necessarily coming out with the win. So, with the match against Chris Jericho, for example, he put on a great display of his athleticism, he relatively young guy too, and his skill set's like absolutely mind-blowing for a guy his age. Like he's young, he's talented, and I think he's gonna be championship material sometime in the near future. So with that said, like I mentioned before, I think MJF gets the win, and the hangnail will not hurt him this time around. All right. So we're going to save the AEW World Championship match for the last. So up next, we have the Casino Ladder match. So this is, I'm guessing, replacing the Casino Battle Royal they have every year. So with this, and these are the participants that have been announced thus far. So we don't know the other competitors ahead of this recording. So we'll probably put it down in the description. So currently who we have announced right now is Darby Allin, Colt Cabana, Orange Cassidy, Rey Fenix, Scorpio Sky, Kip Sapien, Frankie Kazarian, and then now we're waiting on 2 more competitors to be announced. I'm assuming, if we're thinking ahead of time here, I'm thinking it's either going to be someone like Joey Janela, maybe someone like even Jimmy Havoc would be involved in that match, maybe to see that partnership that they've been having with Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sapien. Who knows? We don't know as of right now. So, I'm going to start with you, Priscilla. Who do you think out of just these names would win? And by the way, before I get everything into that, this Casino this Casino Ladder match is for a future AEW World Championship match in the future. So I'm assuming it has to be the next pay-per-view or an episode of Dynamite.
So, just by looking at the names, I would already cross out Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian, only because SCU, they're a tag team. Do I think one of them can win? Sure, maybe, but for this specific title, I don't think SCU would be winning this. I don't know, but but then again, it's every man for themselves. So who knows if both of them are on the ladder, then who's gonna get it? So I would scratch SCU. As for the rest of these names, I don't know. I see Phoenix winning it.
Okay.
It's kind of like he's an underdog, but he's a very, very, you guys have seen his work with the Lucha Bros. Insane tag team. But considering that his tag team partner's not in this match, maybe Phoenix can get the win on this one. All these guys are very, very talented competitors, and each of them individually could have a chance of winning this title. But I feel that Phoenix has Phoenix has a little bit more of a possibility of winning this. But I have so I'm gonna have to say Phoenix. He's very good. He's a high flyer. I want to see him fly off of ladders. I really want to see him fly off of ladders. onto someone. You know, I don't want to see him go through a ladder, but I want to see him putting other people through ladders. So I feel like putting Phoenix in a ladder match could potentially make this a very, very good match. He did have, it was when they had the ladder match with the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros. That was an insane match, you know, and that was with both of them. So I could only imagine what Phoenix can do by himself in this match to win it. So my guess is that Phoenix is gonna win this one.
Okay, Ryan.
I like that. This is what makes this match so fun because, you know, basically, you know, it's like WrestleMania when we had the Money in the Bank ladder match. You know, we were always so excited for that match. You know, any Money in the Bank ladder match, you know, it's always fun because really you never know who's going to win. And just like, I know, for example, you know, Money in the Bank, Otis won. Nobody really saw that coming. And so really, I think this is really kind of anybody's game. So, you know, there are some very good athletes in this match, and I think probably I would really like to say Darby Allin, but I mean he's kind of already had a title shot, like when he faced off against Chris Jericho back in October, I think it was. But I would like to see Allin win, but I also would like to see Orange Cassidy win. I think he would be because he's very over. So I would probably like to see Orange Cassidy, but here's who I think could be another participant. And I'm going to go with Pac being one of those people. Pac being the winner of this match. I would like to see Orange Cassidy win too, but I think probably Pac would be, probably the better one because I really would like to see him be pushed to the top because he's a phenomenal athlete. So I'm going to say Pac.
Okay. So you're saying Pac, and then Priscilla says Rey Fenix. Based on the competitors thus far, of course, in my heart, I want to say Orange Cassidy as well. I'm going to go with the wild card pick. I'm going to say Kip Sapien for the win. And the reason why I say that is because Kip Sapien is young. Kip Sapien is a rising star, in my opinion. I think that his work with Penelope Ford has been great. He really hasn't been showcased enough, if that makes sense. I mean, he lost in the second round. Or no, take that back. He lost in the first round of the TNT Championship tournament against Dustin. But, I mean, he really did put up a great fight. He even put his own career on the line. So I would like to see someone like a Kip Sapien get a championship match against Moxley or whoever walks out of Double or Nothing as the champion. So this one, if I would have to pick another one, there's two more competitors in this match that haven't been announced yet as of this recording. I can see Pac being in it. I was going to say my two other picks was going to be Joey Janela and Jimmy Havoc. Joey Janela wouldn't be a good choice for the win. In my opinion, not just because he blocked me on Twitter, but I think that I don't know. It just didn't. It would be kind of weird. Him, then I'm gonna say Colt Cabana.
Oh,
I'm gonna say Colt Cabana because he's been on Dark recently, but I would like to see someone. To me, I like to see someone new and not necessarily familiar with the title picture. So that's why I said Kip Sapien, because he hasn't been given a title opportunity other than the TNT tournament, where he was eliminated in the first round. Same thing with Colt Cabana. He was in the first round, but he lost to Lance Archer. And there you go. So I'm going to say Kip Sapien or Colt Cabana for the win. Okay, next is let's do this. Next is a pre-show match. This is a tag team match to determine the number one contender spot for the AEW World Tag Team Championship against Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page. This is going to be between Private Parties Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Ken versus best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent. So with this one, it's interesting because I feel like these two teams are very underrated, especially with the tag team division. They're so over, both of them, in my opinion. So I'm really interested in hearing what you guys have to say. So Priscilla, what do you think?
I'm going with best friends for this one. I love how they perform in the ring. I've seen what they've done before AEW, you know, and they had some matches in Japan, and later in the Indies, you see both these tag teams are really good, and they're in their own way. They're really good and unique. But I don't know. I just have a hunch with best friends winning this one. I love Chuck Taylor, and I love what's his name, Trent. Like I love both of them. You know, like so. I think I'm gonna. Huh?
I said, what's his name? Wow.
You know what I was trying to say. But yes, I love both of them. So I'm gonna have to go with short and simple. Best friends is gonna win this one, I think, and they'll actually make a really good tag team. You know.
All right, Ryan, what you got?
Like Priscilla said, you know, these two teams are very underrated in my opinion. And of course, AEW, if there's one thing that they really, really do well at so far is having a very good tag team division. And I think that's something that they've done very well since the beginning of this, since the whole start of this. And, you know, we took a later example for, you know, at Revolution, where we had Paige and Omega versus the Bucks. And, you know, that was just an absolute epic tag match. So really, you know, these tag teams are they're a lot of fun to watch. And I think these are two of the best underrated teams in AEW today. But and I do like Private Party, and I do believe that they will be future AEW tag team champions. But I think I would probably have to give the edge to Best Friends, because I think if there's really been any tag team that's been over within the past year, I would have to say Best Friends. You know, just because of Orange Cassidy, the reaction he gets alone is amazing. And I think that's really what's getting, you know, the Best Friends over. And people really enjoy this team. So, and not to take anything away from Private Party, I think they're very good. I don't think they're knockoffs of the Street Profits or anything, but I would have to give the win to Best Friends because their momentum has been rising, and I think I definitely think, you know, they've put on very good matches, and I think this would probably be the best time to give that opportunity to Best Friends. So I'm going to go with Best Friends to get the win.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to say Best Friends for the win. And not only for the fact that they've been over, but if you look at Best Friends as a tag team, they're so unique and they have so much good tag team chemistry in the ring. You know, you look at someone like Trent Beretta, who, for those who don't know, was a part of ECW, was a part of WWE before coming to AEW and being a part of the independent scene. He was actually in a tag team with Kalen Croft, which that didn't last long, but other than that, he's been a great tag team wrestler and a singles competitor as well. You saw that with his match against Kenny Omega recently over at Dynamite, and he's a great competitor. And then, of course, Chuck Taylor, as I like to call him, Chucky T, who's been over with the SoCal independent wrestling scene, and he's been awesome. He plays a great babyface as well as a great heel over at Evolve, which I absolutely loved his thing in Evolve, especially when he just went as just Chuck. That was amazing. So I'm gonna give the edge, and my prediction is gonna be Best Friends for the win, and they go on to get a AEW tag team title opportunity. Do I think they're going to win? I hope so, because they are my favorite tag team of AEW. Spoiler alert. And but yeah, I'm going to give it to Best Friends for the win. And now we are going to go to a match that was again recently announced as of this recording. So we are going to go with this match, a women's division match between Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus the I think it's everybody's favorite alien. I'm not too sure if that's the right nickname, Chris Statlander. Now, for those who don't know, these two were in an altercation for this past AEW Dynamite. Well, at least the past AEW Dynamite when this is recording, where Dr. Britt Baker had Chris Statlander in the submission hold. I don't remember what the finisher is called, but it's probably going to pop up in my head somewhere. And she was applying that to Chris Statlander on the outside, surprisingly not breaking up the pin for Sheeta, and which cost both of them the opportunity to face Nyla Rose. So I'm interested in seeing this match. Two different styles of wrestling from both women. You have Britt Baker, who's more of a kind of a hard-hitting, ground and pound kind of competitor. Whether and then you have Chris Statlander, who's fast-paced and she's very all over the place in terms of her offense. So, Priscilla, what do you think on this one? Since it's very two different peas in a pod, as you could say.
These two women are very, very good. And like you said, Britt is more of a hard-hitting kind of performer. And then Chris is more of a fast-moving pace, like you said. But I think you know this, Mike, but Britt, it has a very good place in my heart, for reasons. And I love her. I love her as a heel. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really love what she's doing for her character, and I think that she's been she's deserved what she's getting right now. Like getting herself a pay-per-view match. Because I did want Britt Baker from the start to be the first AEW Women's Champion, and I think a lot of us wanted her to be in this championship spotlight. So I think they're gonna give it to Britt Baker, and hopefully after this, that could potentially lead up to another women's championship match. I think Britt can. I would love her. I love her as a face and I love her as a heel, but I actually like her more as a heel. And I would be interested to see if she does get a title opportunity as a heel. And I would love to see her a champion as a heel. Because she has a lot to bring. She has a lot to bring to the table. So I think Britt's going to get the win on this, and hopefully, potentially, that would lead her into getting a women's championship match.
Cool, right?
Yeah, like y'all said, very, double-sided thing. But I think you're probably definitely looking at two of the biggest women's stars in AEW right now. I would say, of course, you don't necessarily have to agree with me, but I think Chris Statlander is a very talented women's wrestler, and without a doubt, I think she did actually have a title opportunity not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken. But I think she definitely is a future AEW Women's Champion in the making. But I really love Dr. Britt Baker. I was going to say that. Britt Baker's heel work. I think she has been phenomenal as a heel so far. And, just kind of like the segments and everything, what she just kind of says, it's just really, I think it's very enjoyable for me, and I really been loving it. So I would have to probably give the win to Britt Baker, and like Priscilla said, I could definitely see Britt Baker getting a title opportunity in this. So I would have to give Britt Baker the win here.
Okay, awesome. I agree with you guys. I think Britt Baker does definitely deserve to get a win in a pay-per-view debut. I actually thought that Britt Baker would be the first ever AEW Women's Champion, but we all know how that went when why can I not think of her right name? Riho, thank you, aka the Brock Lesnar of the AEW brand, as we like to say, which is not really her fault because of prior engagements with Japan, I think, and people could say that about her, and then people could say that about Jeff Cobb, who has never been on AEW ever since that one time. But that's neither here or there. So with that, I'm going to say I'm actually going to give this win to Chris Statlander. And the reason why I say that is because I think that people really haven't seen a lot of her, especially, I think mainly on AEW's, maybe AEW's Dark, or maybe AEW's social media, maybe on Elite. We haven't really seen her a lot in the ring. So with that said, I think this is a perfect opportunity for her to be showcased and get the win, especially with her type of gimmick, which, is it something, she did face Nyla Rose at one point, which of course she lost to. But I think I would like to see her get another stab at the women's championship in the future. So I'm gonna say Chris Statlander for the win, and hopefully, I think it's gonna be a great match for the women's division. All right, so we are heading to the final matches here. I know I'm running on forever, so I do apologize about that. So we are gonna go with this match, which was recently announced on AEW Dynamite. At least the recent AEW Dynamite prior to this recording. We have, I'm gonna say, a blood and guts, like think of Diet Coke and then think of Diet Pepsi. That's how I think of this match. So I think of this. So we have Matt Hardy and the Elite, which is consisting of Adam Page and Kenny Omega, the NXT moves, the AEW Tag Team Champions, with Matt and Nick Jackson, otherwise known as the Young Bucks, which they face off against the Inner Circle's Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz, aka LAX, in the first and probably only ever Stadium Stampede match. So I think this is a replacement for Blood and Guts. Is it going to be as great as Blood and Guts? Who knows? Probably not. But it's going to be the best that they could. So Ryan, what do you think is going to be happening in this match, and what's your bet?
Give me just a second to think. Holy cow. Like you said, it's hard to know. But this definitely does seem like a very awesome match. I think it's going to be I think we're going to see a lot of cool spots. I probably would say this is probably going to be the longest match of the night, but maybe I'm wrong. But I think we're going to see a lot of cool spots. Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is it going to be like Jacksonville, right? The Jaguars Stadium? Okay.
I believe so. Or okay. No, I think it's going to be Stadium Stampede match. I think that's going to be where the baseball team plays over at the Marlins Stadium. I'm not too sure.
Oh, okay.
Because the image that they showed was to me it looked like a baseball stadium, but I could be wrong. So, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, you're fine. So yeah, I think we're definitely going to be seeing some really, close spots. Take for example, I'll say this, when if you watched the Royal Rumble earlier this year, where we had Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns in a Falls Count Anywhere match. But think of that, but without no crowd. But I think this is going to be very fun. I think especially 2 weeks ago, I want to say it was, where they kind of had a match together. I can't exactly remember. I think it was a tag team match, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't really keep track of it, but that was a very fun match. So I expect this to be just as good, possibly even better. So, and I think this is probably going to maybe the final match of this rivalry, because we've seen these two stables go at it for quite some time now, and I think this is going to be the final match. So, however, it's really hard for me to pick a winner, because I think both these stables are very good. However, though, I honestly feel like the Inner Circle would probably need this one more, but you know what? Just because Matt Hardy is in this match, and of course, we have seen Matt Hardy compete, on Dynamite and actually team up with with the Elite before. But since Matt Hardy's in this, I think the Elite is going to win this, and I think it's going to be an absolute wild match. And who knows what we're going to see? But I think the Elite are going to win, and I think it does it for this rivalry. But I could possibly see maybe some new faces on the inner circle. I was probably thinking maybe like could see a new tag team in the Revolt, aka the Revival. I could possibly see that being the members of the inner circle, but I'm just gonna say maybe we'll see them one day, but I'm gonna go with the Elite. So I'll say that, but I'm definitely looking forward to this.
Awesome. Priscilla, what's your thoughts on this?
I'm going to say this right now. I feel like this match is going to be the match of the night. And that is a very bold statement, and I am very proud to say that because you have so many different aspects that can go into this match, and you just never know with these two stables what can happen or what will happen. You have the Elite, which consists of the Young Bucks, which they're very talented just because they're the Young Bucks, So you have your super kicks, you have your high flyers, you got Kenny. We saw on Dynamite, he jumped off. I don't know what it was called, but he jumped off of something, And you have his tag team partner, Hangman Adam Page, another talented wrestler, and you got Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, his character, he's a little psycho. So you don't know what the Elite is up to. And then you look on the other side of things, you have Inner Circle, you have Chris Jericho, you have Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, and you have LAX. The Inner Circle, I love them. They're really good at what they do. They're really good at performing. So when you put two of the best stables in one match, you just don't know what the outcome can be. It can, some people might go towards the Elite because there's the Young Bucks, there's Kenny, there are big names in that group. But then you go over to the Inner Circle, and there's Chris Jericho. We have Sammy Guevara, who I think sells things very, very nicely. When he got hit by the golf cart, I thought that was genius. You got Jake Hager, which is the strong man of the group. I want to see what Jake Hager can do. And then we have the tag team LAX. I really want to see LAX and the Young Bucks a part of this match. Just go at it at each other. But it's very hard to say who could win this. But in my opinion, I love the Elite and everything. But I think I'm gonna have to give this one to the Inner Circle. Like Ryan said, I feel like they need a win under their belt, and I feel like this one could be the biggest win that they can get off of the Elite. So Matt Hardy coming into this, that kind of puts a little, what if, because it is Matt Hardy and it is his, he did leave another company and he did come back, or he came and debuted to AEW. So that, I don't know if that can play some kind of role in their win, but I'm going to have to give this to the Inner Circle. And, whatever the outcome is, I just know that it's going to be a very, very great match. And I know each one of these guys are going to do amazing. And, we're just going to have to see. But I really do think Inner Circle is going to take this one.
Awesome. So Ryan says the Elite, Priscilla says the Inner Circle. That one's hard because I love what you guys said right now, especially with all the different factors like the Inner Circle. We don't know if there's going to be any more Inner Circle members. Same thing with the Elite. We don't know if, the Elite has something behind their sleeves as well to combat something, for the Inner Circle. So with this one, I'm gonna have to probably go with the Inner Circle as well. I think that they, in terms of the Inner Circle matches, they've only won very few. with the Elite, well, same thing with the Elite. They haven't really won a lot under their belts as well. So this is kind of that match where it could end everything and we could have separate rivalries for both, or it could continue on and maybe we could have a final match later down the road. So I mean, this is a very unique match, to say the least. A stadium stampede match, empty stadium and all. I think this is going to be a very outrageous, crazy, all over the place match. You're going to see so many weird spots. So with this said, again, I'm going to go with the Inner Circle. I think that they're going to probably pull something out where they pull out new members, or maybe even just it's all about, strategy. It's all about mind games. Maybe they start out going into the stadium and then, where's Adam Page? Or maybe even Adam Page joins the Inner Circle, because we all know how Adam Page has been during this tag team with Kenny Omega. I mean, they have separate entrances and they don't even celebrate together. So maybe he's going to play a factor in this. So I'm going to say the Inner Circle for the win. It's going to be to me, I think it's going to be one of the matches of the night. Okay, so now the second to final one. We're almost done, guys. The second to final match is the no disqualification and no countout match for the AEW Women's World Championship. We have Nyla Rose, the defending Women's World Champion, versus Hikaru Shida. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Hikaru Shida. For this. And wait, did I already say this match already? No. Okay, I just want to make sure, because it's been a long day. So Hikaru Shida, once again, she did win an opportunity from this past Dynamite, which again, this is not necessarily this past Dynamite that's where this video is being released, but the Dynamite before, where she won a fatal four-way dance, whatever you want to call it. So this is no disqualification, no count out, so I'm expecting this match to be somewhat crazy. So Ryan, what do you think about this, and do you think this is going to leave a landmark in the women's division of AEW?
Honestly, I don't really know for this match, because really, honestly, I don't really know a whole lot about Hikaru Shida. I probably said that wrong. I apologize. I think honestly, the women's division, it still needs a little work. I mean, I think slowly it will kind of, get a rhythm going, and it will get there. And you have some very talented women, in the women's division, no doubt about that. And you got a lot of upcoming stars. But as far as the match goes, I really have not been paying too much attention to the women's division. I'll be honest with you on that. But I think Nyla Rose, has been really impressive so far as a champion. But as far as the challenger, Hikaru Shida, I think it would be nice to see her get a win. I think possibly, since this is a no DQ and no countout, I can really possibly see a new women's champion. But I don't know. I feel like they're probably going to save it for somebody else. I think Nyla Rose is going to continue to have a real dominant streak going. I think she probably will still hold it for quite some time, because she won the belt, I think, February, I want to say. And I think that'll probably continue. So who knows? I mean, we could see a new champion, but as far as I think that it goes, I think Nyla Rose will continue to be champion and have a dominant. I think probably somewhere down the line we may have certain person defeat Nyla Rose, because I think Nyla Rose needs to be considered a threat, not just kind of taken lightly and anybody can be here. So I could kind of in a way I could see that. So I probably would have to say Nyla Rose retains, but hopefully it's a good match. That's just all I hope for.
Okay, Priscilla?
Like Ryan said, I'm not very too familiar with Shida, so I haven't seen a lot of her matches, so I kind of don't know going into this match what she can do or what kind of performance she can bring. but Nyla Rose has been really, really good these past couple months as a champion. She's been very dominant. She's a very strong competitor. So I think I'm just gonna have to give the win to Nyla, and hopefully down the line we can see a very, very talented competitor come and hopefully be into the title picture. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Nyla Rose. But if I like, cause you know, I haven't seen Shida's matches, so this is like me going to this match blindly because I don't know what she can bring. You know, she could be an amazing wrestler, and I don't even know because I haven't seen some of her matches. So I'm gonna have to give this win to Nyla Rose.
Okay, you say both are saying Nyla Rose. I'm gonna agree with all two of you, and I'm gonna say Nyla Rose as well. I think that her reign deserves a little bit more days under her belt. Like Priscilla said, I think there needs to be that one person that could be the one to dethrone her reign. I was thinking maybe more of someone, like I said before, maybe like someone like a Britt Baker or at the time, I thought it was going to be someone like Kylie Ray, but then due to complications, I guess that didn't happen, and then now she's on TNA. So maybe they might bring someone down the line. Maybe, like I mentioned before, maybe Dr. Britt Baker, Chris Statlander. Maybe you could even see someone out of the blue, like oh man, I can't even name all the women's division. That's sad. I've seen some of Shida's matches. She uses a kendo stick. So I'm very interested in seeing how she uses that kendo stick in the match. But like I said, I think Nyla Rose retains. I think Awesome Kong would be someone to really take that throne off of Nyla. You know what I mean? Two beasts going at it. So
I'm surprised has that not already happened? No, huh?
No, that hasn't happened. I think because Awesome Kong is playing the heel at this point. I don't know if she's doing the tapings for AEW still. I don't think so. I think she stopped a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would be something. That would be an awesome a rivalry. Maybe even something like Brandy Rhodes versus Nyla Rose. I mean, I think that would be something cool. So
I really want to see Brandy do something with inside the women's division, because right now she's in the storyline with Cody and the whole thing. But I really want to do. I mean, the two people I really want to see as champions is Britt Baker and Brandy Rhodes. I think that would be amazing. So continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, so that's my pick. I'm gonna agree with you guys and say Nyla Rose. All right, so finally, we are in the main event match, the one we have all been waiting for. Again, recently on last week's Dynamite, prior to this recording, it is Mr. Brody Lee in charge of the Dark Order, the Exalted One, whatever you would like to call him, versus AEW World Champion Jon Moxley, aka we all know him as Dean Ambrose before. So this match, I think, is very interesting, especially with Moxley's reign in jeopardy. With someone like Brody Lee, who he has faced in the past in other companies. But this instance, I think, because Brody Lee has assistance with him, with the inner circle, with the Dark Order, I think they're definitely going to play a huge factor in this match. But I mean, you've seen over the past several weeks, Moxley is kind of outnumbered at the moment, especially with all the attacks from the Dark Order, and especially that 10 dude, that Mr. 10, His name is not Vance Archer. What's his name? His name is something Vance. Oh my goodness, it'll be in the description. I don't know what it is, but he's actually a former NFL star too, which I found is amazing. So I'm really liking the vibes of this main event. I think it's the most exciting AEW championship match in AEW history. That's just personally my opinion, because unlike Moxley versus Jericho for the title, you kind of already expected the winner.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, I think you don't really expect the winner who to win, because you see someone like Moxley who has the championship. Has he been on every single episode of Dynamite? Not necessarily, but you see someone like Mr. Brody Lee, who's this mob boss. I really love the Godfather vibes that he gives me. So, I'm going to start off with Priscilla. Like, how do you feel about this match, and who do you think is going to win?
I mean, like, I grew up watching Moxley since 2013 when he debuted into the main roster, and he has, I don't know, when he was in a different company, he had like, his wrestling work in the past, and it very, very much changed when he went into a company. And so when he came to AEW, his old style of wrestling came back, and I thought it was amazing and new and refreshing, because you haven't seen this kind of wrestling in a while from him. And for him, when he went against Jericho, it was kind of obvious, like you said, who was going to win, and it was the best thing ever. The match was awesome. The outcome was even better. And now going into this, when you have Brody Lee that has gone against Jon Moxley in the past, it just really puts, two throwbacks together. So you have Jon Moxley and Brody Lee, who are completely two different sizes. Like you said, Moxley right now at the moment is kind of outnumbered because of the Dark Order. So Dark Order could play a factor in Brody winning. But then again, you just never know. There could be someone coming to help Moxley. You really don't know what these performers have under their sleeves. And I think this is gonna be the second greatest match of the whole pay-per-view. So I think, I honestly think that Moxley is going to retain, and hopefully that leads him to being on TV more. And I feel like he will still have some kind of storyline with the Dark Order, but we just don't know. But I do think Moxley is going to retain, and we're going to have him be champion for at least the next pay-per-view until they come up with another storyline for him. But this is a very good match card. Like I wouldn't have predicted Brody Lee to be the next for the title, right? We kind of figured it'd be someone else, like someone big on the roster. But so for Brody Lee to have the opportunity to go against Mox, I think that could really be a good thing for. That could be a very great thing for Brody Lee's career in AEW. Because after this match, hopefully they do have something big for Brody. Hopefully he can do like a lot of other singles competitors matches, maybe even the TNT World Championship. I could see him as the TNT World Heavyweight Championship. But as of right now, I think Moxley is going to take the win.
Okay, Ryan, what do you think?
Oh, man.
That was good.
Yeah, I definitely love that. I think this is definitely going to be a very, very interesting match. And honestly, I would have never predicted Brody Lee to get a AEW title opportunity this quickly, because he has not been in AEW that long at all. And, it was just kind of shocking. They announced Brody Lee versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Title at Double or Nothing, and you're just like, wow. I mean, that was quick. And Brody Lee has not been AEW like very long. He's only been I think a couple months. But yeah, But you have the thing is, you have very good chemistry between these two. We obviously have seen these guys fight before, with their names, and even in WWE, as Luke Harper and Dean Ambrose. Of course, when they, when they had that feud, the Wyatt family and Shield, and even their single, rivalry, together, Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper, they put on some brilliant matches. So I expect the same with this. You got Brody Lee versus Jon Moxley, a then and now situation. And, you had Jon Moxley, who was the AEW World Champion. He won the belt in February by defeating Chris Jericho. And like you guys said, we obviously knew that it was pretty predictable that Jon Moxley was going to win the title, because we know how Chris Jericho is. He's there to put the younger guys over. That's what he does. That's what he does best. That's why he is the best in the world. But you got someone like Brody Lee, who, in my opinion, is a very bright star in AEW. And that's, really kind of the difference between this match. You got really two very talented guys, and you don't really know this is not predictable. You don't really know who's going to win. It's like 50-50. Do they give it to Brody Lee, or do they have Jon Moxley retain? For me, it's hard. It's hard for me to pick because I do like both. I do feel like Jon Moxley should retain to just, give a little bit of credibility to his run just a little bit longer. But because, Brody Lee is still kind of new to AEW, I feel like, and I think he's only, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's only had maybe 2 matches on Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken. They one against Christopher Daniels, and then the other one against Marco Stunt, I want to say. I don't know if any others, but it's just so hard. I do definitely feel like Dark Order is going to play a huge part in this, because the thing is, Dark Order was not. Nobody really honestly kind of cared about Dark Order before Brody Lee came along. Until Brody Lee came along, that's when everybody's like, oh yeah, we got interest in the Dark Order now. So obviously, Dark Order is going to play a part now. But what does that leave for Jon Moxley? Because Jon Moxley really doesn't have he's not really your friendly guy you go to. He's no, he's a guy that I do it on my own. He's a guy that does it by himself. Don't work for nobody or anything. So, it's kind of hard, because I feel like I got to give the advantage to Brody Lee because of that. But maybe Jon Moxley does get help. Maybe, other superstars wrestlers, my apologies, help Jon Moxley. Maybe. I don't really know. It's just really hard. And that's why I think it's so great about this match. It's so unpredictable. I don't know what's going to happen. I think we're probably in for a big surprise. But for my prediction, I am going to say this. I'm going to say Brody Lee shocks the world and becomes the new AEW World Champion. And by no means, I do love Jon Moxley, and I'll be happy if he does retain. But I think they are going to shock the world and put the belt on Brody Lee, Mr. Brody Lee, I should say. But it is going to be exciting. But yeah, I'm going to get the win to Brody Lee.
I love it. Before I get into my pick, I'm going to go off of what Ryan said. Nobody really cared for the Dark Order at first. If you guys remember, they were in the first round of the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament, which only consisted of Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. Now, I've been very interested with the Dark Order, especially since they debuted. They were going after SCU from the beginning, and I think they even attacked, if I'm not mistaken, as well. They even attacked Best Friends at one point. So I'm very interested in seeing how Dark Order plays a factor in this. And I was going to point out as well, I was going to say Ambrose. I can't say Ambrose. Moxley was not in AEW that long when he won the AEW World title as well. He was only in AEW for about a month or two until he got that championship against Chris Jericho. So, when you guys are talking about, you have to be here for this long or that long, when Moxley was signed to AEW and he appeared, there was no doubt in fans' minds that he would be AEW World Champion.
Absolutely.
And especially getting that title shot that quickly, not that long afterwards. He was, at this time last year, Moxley was in AEW. It was Double or Nothing last year where he appeared, he attacked Kenny Omega. They had a rivalry for about a month, I want to say a couple weeks. And then not that long later, Jon Moxley gets the AEW World Championship against Le Champion. And, he has been champion ever since. So, with that said, I honestly think with this match, it's going to be a fun one. I think that both men, especially with the chemistry that they've had over the years with that other company, has been absolutely amazing. Even, I think they met in the independent scene. I'm not too sure about that. I could double check my facts. but I'm very excited to see a rivalry reborn, per se. So with this one, I agree with Ryan on this one. I'm going to say a new AEW World Champion is crowned with Mr. Brody Lee. I think that he's not going to win clean. I think that he's going to have some assistance on his side, especially with all, I think 11, 12, 8, Dark Order people in the Dark Order. So I'm going to say Mr. Brody Lee for the win. I think he absolutely deserves it. I would love to see a heel run again for the AEW World Champion, especially with, again, the mob boss, Mr. Brody Lee. It would be his first championship ever in wrestling since his Intercontinental Championship victory in 2013, I want to say. 2013 or 2014. That's when he won the Intercontinental Championship against Dolph Ziggler, thanks to the authorities.
2014 is what it was, yeah.
2014. So that's our picks, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining our AEW Double or Nothing predictions. I'm hoping we could do more predictions in this style. Maybe we could get more people. But before we go, is there anything that you guys would like to say? Let's start with you, Priscilla.
I mean, hopefully we can do one of these for Takeover in Your House, That's the next paper that's coming around, and I'd actually love to do something like this again. And especially NXT, because NXT is literally my soul, my purpose. So, I would want to do something like that. And, I'm happy that Mike invited me to do this. It's the first time I've done this, and I really enjoyed it. So hopefully we can do one for Takeover in Your House. So that'd be a pretty...
On your birthday.
On my birthday, June 7th, guys. Be sure to check out the network and watch it on my birthday. Thanks, Mike, for having me. And you guys can always find me on Instagram at lifeof.priscilla. Thanks, Mike.
All right, Ryan.
All right. This was really fun. First time ever. I want to say thank you, Mike, for inviting me. I really enjoyed this. I think we should definitely do this for almost every pay-per-view. Every AEW or WWE event that comes along, because this is really fun, and I think this would be a real big opportunity to grow and, have other people on here and, just have fun, because, I really enjoyed talking wrestling with you guys, and it's just always fun to, get to talk wrestling with other fellow fans and everything. So except I know, of course, at this time it's a little tough due to the whole coronavirus, but we're still making smiles as best as we can. We'll definitely get through it together. But thank you so much, Mike. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. No, thank you guys for joining on. Hopefully, like Ryan said, we can get more people on here, maybe even some more special guests. Who knows? So until we meet again, guys, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Everybody's social media page will be in the link in the description. And subscribe to Ryan, because obviously he has the better followers and subscribers than I do. I don't know why, but that's how it is. Follow Priscilla because she has better edits and better content than me, because I'm an inconsistent YouTuber, apparently, according to her. And you can follow me if you want. I'm not that special.
Yeah, you guys don't have to follow Mike.
Yeah, says the person. Whatever. Anyways, so thank you guys so much. I will see you guys again soon. We are all in this together, and know that professional wrestling brings fans together.